What are we gonna do tonight, O.C.G?
Well, the same thing we try to do every night, Bertrum. Take over YouTube. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Obsessive Compulsive Gaming. I am the Obsessive Compulsive Gamer, and this is just a little video I wish to make. Wish to make? Does that make any sense? Wanted to make. That's the phrase I was going for. This is a little video I wanted to make on this, the release week for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, my most anticipated gaming title of 2024. And what do I want to do in this little video, I hear you ask? Well, I'm glad that you asked, dear viewer. What I want to do is put forward some of my own personal predictions for what I think is going to happen in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Now this is just my own personal predictions. I haven't read anything confirming or denying anything I'm going to put forward here. All I've done is watch the trailers, play the demo, and I have formulated these little thoughts of mine. So, if you indulge me for a little bit of time, I'll share them with you now, and maybe I'll even tell you what scenes I'm most looking forward to seeing recreated in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. So, theory number 1. Aerith will not die in this game. That's correct, even though this game ends in the whatever the hell the place is called, I can't remember it right now, and it's the location where Aerith in the original game, spoilers, gets murdered by Sephiroth. Well, I don't think that's going to happen in this game. In fact, I don't think Aerith is going to die at all. I think another character is going to die in their place. That character being Tifa. Ooh, I know, controversial. And I don't believe she'll be the only character who will die in this particular game. I believe... I've got nothing to back this up. I believe maybe, controversially, Sephiroth is going to die. I mean, die. As in, die. Because it leads into another little theory of mine, which is this game completes the story of the original Final Fantasy VII. Now, yes, this is a trilogy. They've always said it's a trilogy. They even announced where this game ends. But all they said is where it ends. They didn't say that everything that leads up to that is only the events that you play through in the original Final Fantasy VII, you know, like Cosmo Canyon and the marching sequence for Rufus's inauguration and all that jazz. So, there's actually a couple of shots in the trailer that look very much like the final battle from the original Final Fantasy VII. And of course, the final battle doesn't occur until Disc 3 in the original Final Fantasy VII. So, if the final battle from the original Final Fantasy VII was in this game, that maybe means that this game is actually going to finish off the quote-unquote events of Final Fantasy VII. Now, of course, there has been absolutely no mention of that whatsoever, but everyone seems to think because this is a trilogy, that it will take all 3 games to get through all the events of Final Fantasy VII. But another little theory of mine, and I'm not the only one with this theory, is that this is not a remake. This is a sequel to the events of Final Fantasy VII. So basically, Sephiroth at the end of Advent Children, which is the movie sequel to Final Fantasy VII, realizes that he can't win, so somehow changes the timeline with the Arbiters of Time shenanigans that you see, you know, in Final Fantasy VII Remake, goes back in time to try and change it all. Ergo, a sequel. Ergo, things can be different. So, for example, Aerith might not die. I don't believe she will die. Other characters can die in their place. Other things can happen. So, long story short, I think this game, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, is going to finish out the quote-unquote events of the original Final Fantasy VII, meaning that the third game is going to be completely different. Completely different to anything that was in Final Fantasy VII. Again, just a theory of mine, and I believe Sephiroth will die at the end of Rebirth, like he does in the original game, and there'll be a new villain in Part 3. Or Part 3 will incorporate elements from Advent Children, perhaps. Ooh, that's an interesting one. So we would get a remake / reboot / sequel all in one package over 3 games. Rather interesting, I think. What else do I think is going to happen in this game? Well, actually, I think I've covered all my big theories. So it's a sequel to Final Fantasy VII. The events of Final Fantasy VII are going to be completely remade by the end of this game, leaving the third game to be a completely different game, or based on Advent Children. I believe that Sephiroth will die at the end, but they'll have their final battle, like in the original game, and that Tifa and/or Cloud, maybe, will be the ones who will die instead of Aerith. Again, like I said, these are just theories of mine. I don't know anything you don't know. I haven't read into anything. I haven't looked anything up. No one's told me. I'm not an insider for Square Enix or any of that bollocks. This is just a little theory video I wanted to make, because why the hell not? So, what scenes am I looking forward to being redone in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth? Well, I'm looking forward to seeing the date sequence. You know, like in the original, you could end up going on a date with Barret, Aerith, why did I say Barret first? That's very bizarre. Aerith, Tifa, Barret. So I'm looking forward to seeing Aerith, obviously, her date with Cloud at not Cosmo Canyon. What am I saying? What's that place called? Gone completely out of my head. What the hell is that place called? The weird fun park place. Well, you meet Kate Sif for the first time. What the hell is that called? You know, this is embarrassing. I completely forget. I can't be bothered looking it up right here, right now. I can't anyway. I'm recording, goddammit. But yes, there. I'm looking forward to seeing the date scene. If they do follow, like, a little theory of mine, the rest of the events of Final Fantasy VII, I am looking forward to seeing that final battle. I'm looking forward to seeing Jenova properly. The Jenova fights that you do in the original. I'm looking forward to seeing the fights against her. That's going to be very exciting. Aerith's quote-unquote death scene, which I think is going to be completely different in this game. I'm looking forward to seeing what the hell they're going to do with Zack, how that's going to play into everything. That's going to be very interesting. I'm looking forward to seeing the end of the flashback, which we got to play 3/4 of in the demo, but it cuts off just before the end, you know, when Cloud confronts Sephiroth and Sephiroth quote-unquote dies. I'm looking forward to seeing how that plays out. Red 13 discovering that his father wasn't really a coward, and that he was actually protecting the village this whole time. Very sad scene in the original. I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with that. Just, long story short, I am bloody looking forward to this game. So, what are you looking forward to? What are your theories on what's going to happen in this game? Put it all down below and I will happily read it and reply. And I'll try not to take the piss out of you when I reply. So, little video, wanted to make it a couple of days before the release of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I'm incredibly excited for it. I hope you are too. Of course you are. So, if you enjoyed this little video of mine, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. If you haven't enjoyed it, well then, feel free to give me a thumbs down. But please remember the single most important thing I always tell you, dear viewers, and that is to always stay obsessed with gaming. Are you still here? Oh, you must have really enjoyed this video then. In that case, you had better subscribe to the channel and check out our other content. Otherwise, you're a booby pants, and no one wants to be a booby pants.